From my viewpoint, the FTC appears to be at the center of a broader effort by President Trump to further consolidate his own power and disrupt literally nearly a century of precedent regarding the role of independent executive branch agencies. So my question for you is pretty straightforward, following up on Senator Kim's comments. Do you agree with the DOJ's position announced earlier this month that it now believes the for-cause removal protections applicable to independent commissions are unconstitutional?
Thank you, Senator. So I will defer to the Department of Justice and the White House on the legal positions. FTC is involved in litigation involving this question right now as well that it'd be inappropriate for me to comment on. What I can speak to are my own intentions should I be confirmed, which is to show up each day to enforce the law, to serve the American people without fear or favor with respect to any party.
So if confirmed and a motion comes up after your confirmation that aligns the FTC position on the matter that the Trump administration, which is trying to basically neuter the independent status of these agencies, what side would you fall on?
Senator, I wouldn't be able to commit to how I would vote on any matter that might come before me as a commissioner.
Well, I'm still very concerned about what's happening here, and I would hope commissioners understand the importance of independence, something that has been happening for many, many years, decades, that this is a dangerous course. I know it's part of this unitary executive philosophy. Folks want to know what a unitary executive is. Think of Putin, for example. That's a unitary executive. That's the direction that we're going, unfortunately. Mr. Graziosi, you previously worked on President Trump's AI executive order in 2020, which, among other things, required agencies to publish AI use cases and ensured that agencies protected privacy, civil rights, as well as civil liberties. So my question for you is, do you still agree with that Trump executive order that agencies should publish use case inventories that use their AI uses to protect privacy, civil rights, as well as civil liberties?
I do believe that the AI inventories that were started under the first Trump administration are very important, and the Biden administration continued those for both the White House and more broadly for other agencies and American people to see what these use cases are and how the government is using AI, I think is very valuable. I think one tweak or something to think about with those is that AI is becoming more and more pervasive across everything that we do as Americans and everything that individual people and civil servants do across government. So I think maybe one way to, a more valuable sort of list going forward, maybe some categorization of high impact use cases, because so you're not inundated with the next co-pilot that's being used in a browser, for example.
Certainly, all those should be protected, but obviously there are different risk levels. So that's what you're saying, make sure that we have a category of risk levels. The risk of an autonomous lethal weapon system is a whole lot different than a predictive maintenance for trucks. Is that what you're referring to?
I am, yeah, and I think for the purposes of these inventories, I think impact is probably a better cut than risk. I think to me, I like impact of how is this particular AI application making a difference in the way that an agency is providing its services to citizens.
I'm also concerned about the brain drain that's occurring in federal science agencies. The so-called Department of Government Efficiency has fired, as you know, broad swaths of workers without, not on the basis of poor performance, basically indiscriminately, and sometimes without even knowing what those workers were responsible for. In the case of workers that were overseeing the nuclear arsenal, for example. These firings included scientists and experts at NASA, the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, and the National Institutes for Standards and Technology, or NIST. DOGE has also created a workplace environment where issue area experts are essentially being harassed with the explicit goal of getting them to resign. This environment is not conducive to ensuring the government can retain the top talent in science fields, which is essential for our competitive advantage, which we need for AI and space exploration, manufacturing, et cetera. So my question for you, sir, is do you agree that it is essential to retain top science and technology talent in the federal government to further success of the United States? And if so, how would you advise the president to reverse course in these policies that are actually having these folks with very specialized and important talent being fired?
I do believe that it's important for all of our science and technology agencies to have high-skilled, technical, and scientific folks there to do the very important work for the American people. I also think it's entirely reasonable for a new president to be able to evaluate the team that he has on the field across his agencies and sort of make the necessary changes to ensure that he can achieve the goals that he campaigned on and won.
Well, the key word there is to evaluate. There's no evidence that there was any evaluation going on. It was indiscriminate across the board. In fact, the thing that really caught me is that because it's probationary employees that are new ones, it was basically people who were promoted. So they were outstanding performers. They got promoted to a different job, and now that's probationary. So we actually fired people who just got promoted because of their outstanding work. Congratulations, you did a great job. You're now fired. I don't think that works in any business. I hope you would step up and say that doesn't work in the science enterprise as well. Yes or no?
Oh, yes, if I'm involved in any of this in the future, I certainly will bring to bear the importance of science and technological advice at all these agencies.
Very good.
Okay, I'm now going to recognize Senator Rosen, and I'm going to entrust the gavel to Senator Rosen while I run to vote. And I'm going to have trust and confidence that in my absence, she's not going to seek unanimous consent to dissolve the White House or the Department of Commerce or something else.
I will not. Maybe I'll just declare my birthday a holiday or something. There you go.
Knock yourself out.